welcome to an all-new edition of Mission Park Cares.
And today we're going to see how the secrets of Mexican cooking is still being preserved.
And we'll get a taste of surf and turf from south of the border.
And then we're going to meet people who are giving cancer patients the boost that they really need.
But first, there's some really exciting things happening at the Alamo. Let's see what's new.
You know, I'm here with Jonathan and Misty, and thank y'all for joining us today on Mission Park Cares, and we want to learn a little bit more about the threefold plan right here behind us here at the Alamo. Jonathan, could you help us with that one?
So there's a lot going on, as you can see here, sir. With the construction right behind us, there's a lot of changes here on the Alamo Plaza grounds. Recently, on March 3rd, we just opened our newest building, the Alamo Collection Center, which has been named after our biggest donor, Ms. Shannon Ralston. It's now called the Ralston Family Collection Center. It helps to immerse our visitors, which we get about 1.6 million annually here at the grounds, in a lot of historical items, about 500 in the Alamo collection. That includes the collection from Mr. Phil Collins and the Donald and Luis Llena Spanish colonial collection.
That's incredible. Now, how long do you think they have been collecting these items? Obviously since the beginning of the Alamo, but I mean, really, what do you think brought it to light?
So Mr. Collins had been doing so for many years. I know the Llenas had been so for some time as well, decades. And Mr. Llena would actually collect a lot of these very unique items going back to the 1700s to utilize as a reference point to bring more authenticity to his actual paintings.
Misty, behind us is the Palisades. Over my left shoulder is an 18-pound cannon. Can you tell us the significance of the Palisade as well as the cannon?
Absolutely. So many people come to the Alamo and they believe that it was just this building behind us, just the church. And the site was actually so much bigger than that. It was about 4 acres. And so we're adding on these reproductions so that people can get an idea of the square footage that the defenders were actually defending.
Misty, I've got to ask, why would you go to the trouble of putting an 18-pound cannon up on that site? Tell me the significance.
Well, first off, cannons are just fun, but also authenticity. So on the first day of the battle, February 23rd, 1836, the Mexican troops march into Bejar. The Texans are here in the fort. Santa Anna demands them to surrender. In response to that, General Travis has his men load up that cannon, they fire a shot, and that's their answer. They're going to stay here and they're going to fight.
All right, Jonathan, I have to ask you, so why was the Palisades built? And then on top of that, what's happening over my shoulder?
Great question, Dick. So the Palisade was built in December of 2021. It's a representation of what the unfinished, incomplete wall of the mission and then fort prior to the Battle of 1836. So that it was actually where the Tennesseans were posted because they were thought of as the best shots. And it was actually the thought of where Davy Crockett had fallen during the battle in 1836. And as Misty alluded to earlier, when people come to the grounds, they think the church is just the Alamo. And what we're doing here is building the Mission Gate and Lunette. This will act as a gateway for people coming onto the site to realize that the Alamo is a much larger mission or fort here on the grounds of the Alamo.
Misty, I have to ask, I know that you have been working tirelessly, cataloging, labeling, taking care of this new collection. Tell us some of the special items that you have inside, please, ma'am.
So to start off, it's so exciting to have this new building because what we had space for previously was about 1% of our collection. Now we have 10% out. And so we're able to grow and show more items. Some of the things that we have on exhibit are one of David Crockett's rifles. We have Santa Anna's sword. We have some uniforms and some weapons from the Mexican military as well as the Texans. We have a huge diorama that has Phil Collins telling you the story of the battle and just so many wonderful artifacts that we've never been able to display before.
What makes you so passionate about this, Jonathan? And then Misty, I want you to answer the same question.
You know, Dick, that's a wonderful question. I worked for the federal government for over 20 years and really trying to help my community. And I was really, as an Air Force brat, born and raised mostly in San Antonio. Okay. So to see the changes that are taking place here with the Palisade, the 18-pounder, the Mission Gate and Lunette, and now our new Ralston Family Collection Center, things are changing at the Alamo. And soon we'll have a beautiful new visitor center and museum. We just want to ensure that for the 1.6 million people that come here annually, wow, they are immersed in our history and able to see what took place here in San Antonio, which really to us is the cultural heart of Texas, because there's so many unique cultures that coincide its history here at this unique site.
Well, you're definitely excited. Misty, tell me a little bit about what drives you to be so behind all this project.
Sure. So to start out, I'm a 6th generation Texan. So for me, it's in my blood. I learned about it in school. I just love this place. But working here, I've been here about 7.5 years. What I love about the Alamo is every person who comes to the Alamo can find a part of its story that they relate to. They may come here and think they don't like history at all, but we're able to find something that reminds them of maybe where they came from or something of their own interest, perhaps.
Well, it's absolutely amazing, and it really truly shows. And I tell you, we're so blessed to have y'all in our community and working so hard on this project for all of us. You know, quite frankly, for this is really terrific, and thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you. Thank you. Kristin, did you know that UTSA has the secrets of Mexican cooking right there in their own vault?
That's amazing. How can we find out more about that?
Well, let's go to our dear friend John Elizondo to find out.
Well, we're here with Felipe Barrera at UTSA, and Felipe, just kind of tell me, what do we have here? I see a lot of old books, but they aren't just old books. They have some serious history with them.
Yeah, John, so what we have here is what I consider one of San Antonio's biggest unknown treasures, and we're very thankful that we get a chance to show you these gems. So this is the UTSA Mexican Cookbook Collection. It's the largest cookbook collection, Mexican cookbook collection in the country. The cookbook collection includes now upwards of 2,500 cookbooks. We collect cookbooks regionally, so from all around Texas, South Texas, and Mexico. And today we have some of our greatest hits. This includes handwritten recipes from the 1800s.
Let's dive a little deeper into what's in these books. What is, I guess, kind of uncovered in some of these books, or things that maybe are reaffirmed, or just things that people who enjoy cooking and people who are really serious about cooking can take away from these books?
There's books that really do focus on indigenous ingredients and indigenous cooking of the region. But in other cases, like the colonial period, you get to see European techniques, Spanish techniques, but merging that with the ingredients that were available in the region. And once you start looking at the cookbooks and turning through the pages, you realize, oh my God, this is a treasure trove. And it really starts to kind of kick off the light bulbs, the creativity light bulbs. And a lot of times I like to describe when people come in, especially chefs, or just people who love cooking, who love food, who have a love for history and for food. It's like you're in Disneyland.
You mentioned contemporary chefs that have come in, check it out. From your experience and just talking to them, or hopefully maybe trying some of their cuisine, what has kind of been the biggest takeaway from them and how it's come out from using these cookbooks?
A lot of times it's a little bit of a guideline, or I've heard of an example is a really good friend of ours. He's on our advisory council on our board, Chef Rico Torres from Restaurant Mixley. He spends a lot of time researching recipes, trying to understand the history behind them, to then give it his own kind of spin on things and food. You could see how happy he was that he was here, and once a creative, once a chef, once an artist, once anybody that cares about something deeply kind of finds something special, they dedicate time to it. So that 1 hour turned into 4 hours, and he said, I have to come back. I found some really nice things that I can go back into the restaurant and try and experiment with. But I have to come back, and he said, and I can't believe this is right here in San Antonio, and why doesn't anybody know about this?
Can anybody come to view the collection? Is it only, people of a professional chef level, or just your everyday, mom and pop, maybe a grandmother who loves to cook for their grandson every once in a while, wants to come and explore this collection and learn how to make something new? We've
really been putting a big effort into making sure that people have access to this. So we've been doing a lot of pop-ups around the city, but anybody can come into the library. The thing we just ask is send us an email, give us a call. We'll set up an appointment for you, and we'll bring out the cookbooks.
What makes you the most passionate about this project, and knowing that there is something that's been very preserved that people can come back to and find the roots of it and continue to be more creative out of it or to keep a tradition alive.
We see that anywhere we take these books. Whenever we do community pop-ups, I see how people just light up because I think, especially in San Antonio and South Texas, everybody has a memory of a grandparent or a family member or a dish that just brings back memories, nostalgia. They are important. They're part of our history. They're part of our identity, and they'll mean something to future generations. They mean something to future generations. So please document them. If you have a cookbook that you are looking to find a home for, please contact us as well. It's really important. And then the other thing that I'll just say is just a research value to a chef, to inspire food, to inspire an experience. And I've had the privilege of sitting down with many of these chefs and tasting some of these recipes. That is so special.
Well, Felipe, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for showing us this awesome collection, and hopefully more people will be involved, either contribute to it in the future or even just come to learn from it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Dick, I'm really excited that we could support the Thrivewell Cancer Foundation this season.
And they really do so much for us right here in this community.
Absolutely. Let's learn more.
Thrivewell Cancer Foundation hopes to improve the quality of lives of cancer patients everywhere. And Aaron Erkline with Thrivewell is here with more on their annual luncheon, which is coming up next month. It's a big fundraiser for you. But before we get to that, first of all, thank you for everything you do over at Thrivewell.
Thank
you help
you.
so many people. Tell us what, daily, what the goal is.
So Thrivewell Cancer Foundation is a local organization. We are hyper-focused on our community here in San Antonio, and we want to help as many cancer patients as we possibly can. We do that through our patient assistance program, and for us what that means is we provide financial, transportation, and lodging assistance to folks as they're going through their journey.
You provide things that people don't necessarily think of. People don't realize all of the extra costs just to go and get the treatment that you need to survive.
Well, and I think you hit the nail on the head. You don't know that. You don't know what you don't know. And so once you get a diagnosis, even if you have a really good insurance plan, there's all this other stuff that comes along with the diagnosis, the scans, the blood draws, the treatment, the radiation, the chemo. And so that all quickly adds up for folks. And for most families here in the San Antonio community, it's financially catastrophic.
Absolutely.
So we just try to provide that safety net for people as they're going through their treatment, so they don't have to choose between keeping the lights on, feeding their kids, and getting to their life-saving care.
There's a lot of people that don't have a lot of family. Maybe they don't have friends in their area, and they physically, because of the treatment, can't get themselves places.
That's right. And so we provide transportation. We actually provide rides to folks as they're going through treatment. Or, now fuel is outrageous. The costs just add up. And so we also provide fuel cards for folks who have to go every day, for radiation.
I love what you guys do.
Thank you.
Here's what's wonderful is you can help Thrivewell. I mean, the only way that you can continue to help so many people is through funding. And there's a wonderful luncheon that is coming up in April, and it's a way for people to take part and give back to Thrivewell.
Yes, absolutely. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, so we rely on generous donations to make our mission work. And we have our biggest fundraiser of the year coming up on Friday, April 14th. It is a luncheon in person. We're so excited to be back in person. But even if you can't come that day, there's always ways to give on our website. So we can use all of that, and if you make a donation today, it immediately goes into action tomorrow.
I love that. You put it right back into rotation.
Absolutely.
Out there helping people throughout our community. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you, Aaron.
Well, it's good to see you all, and you all have been such wonderful partners for our organization, and you've really moved the needle for us and for cancer patients here in San Antonio.
Well, we just love you to pieces.
Dick, hearing all those recipes from the UTSA cookbook makes me hungry.
Well, what do you see what they're cooking up at La Fogata right now?
I can't wait.
Hi, Kristin and Dick. How you doing? We are cooking today shrimp tan pequeña with camarón. We have a very special sauce where we cook our shrimp, our camarón on it. So our salsa de mesa, it's made with fresh tomatoes that we roasted out in-house, white onion, tomatillo verde, serranos peppers to make our shrimp sauce or camarón sauce. We add on to the mix garlic, manteca or lard, vegetable lard, more salt, and we blend ancho and guajillo peppers that we let them dry, then we fry, quick fry and chop. I mean, our sauce, it's spicy, it's fresh, and it tastes homemade. And now let's get cooking. This is our gas grill. I'm gonna start with our Tampiqueña into the grill. And we have 3 camarones, 3 shrimp. A quick grill just to give that char flavor into the camaron. And then we're gonna finish it into our sauce. No, the shrimp, it will take less time. It's just less than a minute each side. We're gonna turn it, and it's gonna cook in about 5 minutes total. Our meat, if you're gonna have it medium rare or medium, depends on how the customers. We normally serve it medium, and it will take about 7 minutes to cook. So it's very close, but the Tampiqueña will take more time in the grill, and this while the shrimps are getting into the sauce. So we have also our green onions on the grill to get charred. We're gonna flip over those shrimps. Now we're gonna slightly seasoning with our secret mix seasoning. We're gonna throw our sauce. That's the sizzling you like to get when you get food into your pan. I'm gonna transfer our shrimp into the sauce. I preferably like to give a cross mark in our Tampiqueña, so when you see it on the grill, on the plate, it has a nice char grilled into the meat. That gives the flavor, but also gives some looks. This is made with a skirt, outside skirt, beef, obviously, and we develop our own seasoning. It has a lot of love and thoughts, and it has some cumin and has some oregano, some salt, pepper, and the rest is secret. So as you can see, the shrimps are almost cooked. You have a nice tender and soft camaron with a very spicy flavors, but not so spicy and piquant, special sauce, the camaron. We're gonna turn out a little bit our green onions, and then we, unless the customer requires a different temperature, we like to present our beef, our steaks of beef, medium rare, into the table to medium. So by the time it takes another 5 to 6 minutes sometimes to go from the grill to the line, and then another 2 minutes to the table, the meat's still nice and juicy. So now let's plate the dish. We have our plate already with our ranchero beans and the rice, Mexican rice. We're gonna put our Tampiqueña nice in the middle, and let's make sure that we get all this nice sauce into the shrimps and in the Tampiqueña. Just all that love that goes into this sauce, and we finish it off with our grilled green onion, our Mexican rice, and here we have Tampiqueña camaron, beef Tampiqueña with shrimp.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Mission Park Cares.
Easter is right around the corner, and we hope you have a wonderful holiday.
If you would like us to pay special tribute to a family member, go to missionparks.com for our Easter show.
It's easy to upload a photo, and they'll be remembered here on TV.
Until next time, remember that we always love you.
And at Mission Park, it's our mission to care.